Hi, this is Sarah Bargijan. Welcome to your yoga practice with me today. This is going to be a short class where we're working on Parvritta Trikonasana, twisted triangle pose, which is an amazingly complete pose within itself. You're going to be strengthening your core, so your abdominal muscles, your deep core abdominal muscles, your inner thighs, and all the muscles around your glutes. So let's get started. Please come to hands and knees to begin with. You're going to need a block, by the way, or a water bottle. So something there ready for you to help you in your Parvritta Trikonasana. Knees touch, inner ankles touch. Push your hands down really strongly and slightly press your tailbone down towards the backs of your knees. Pick up your right leg, point your toes and shoot your right leg behind you. And as you do this, really push the floor away from you and bring that back foot a little bit over to the left so you start to feel the inner thighs ignite to engage. Draw your navel up, keep pressing your tailbone down so that your lower abdominal muscles really do tone. Bring the leg back, bring the foot down, squeeze your legs towards each other, pick up the left leg again, point the toe, shoot the leg straight behind you, press your tailbone down, and then bring that leg a little over to the right. Bring the leg back again, straight behind you, bring your knees down. Now, separate your feet, tuck your toes under and come into downward facing dog. Stretch out, push your hands forward as you squeeze your legs strong, particularly around your knees, your thighs, really hugging onto your thigh bones. Now put a little bend in your knees, raise your head, and walk your feet to the top of your mat. When you get there, separate your feet to about hip width apart, coming into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Press your feet towards each other here, so your inner thighs, again, ignite, they tone. Then bend your knees, bring your hands onto your hips, and hinge all the way up to standing. Good. Now get your block, and put your block in between your calf muscles, into the where your calf muscles are at their biggest. And then stand your feet about hip width apart again and squeeze your block. Bring your hands down by your side so at least your upper body is in mountain pose in Uttanasana. Press in towards the block. Bring your arms up overhead and coming into chair pose, Uttanasana, bend your knees and squeeze your block again. So you're training your body here to press into the midline, compacting your body. Keep that squeezing into the block as you come back to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Check that your 10 toes are all pointing forwards and that you're still squeezing the block. Now raise your chest and look up. Come up onto the 3 middle fingers of each hand and really raise your chest away from the floor a little bit more here as you again squeeze the block. Now this is going to seem tricky, but come back into plank. So bend your knees, bring your hands by the sides of your feet and take little baby steps back, keeping your block or your water bottle, whatever it is you're using, in place. If you drop it, don't worry, just put it back and come into plank. Again, slightly press your tailbone down so the lower abdominal muscles engage. Now, coming into Chaturanga, move your body weight forward. Lower your chest just a little bit here. Cobra. Bring everything down to the floor. Keep your chest high. Now you've got to let your legs go down the block here. Squeeze the block. Cobra. Really do squeeze the block here. You need to in Cobra anyway. Really pressing into the midline, making your Cobra one tail. Tuck your toes under. For downward facing dog, push your knees down, pick the block up and press back. Squeeze the block again. Now keep your feet where they are and walk your hands back towards your feet. Stay here again in Uttanasana, squeezing the block. Bend your knees, bring your hands onto your hips, come up to standing and take your block away now. Walk to the front of your mat with your block still in your hands and put your block now in between your feet, in between your ankles, so the big inner ankle bone is in contact with the block. Squeeze the block. Bring your hands down by your sides. Bring your arms up overhead, back to standing with your arms overhead, then back to Uttanasana, Utkatasana. I'm getting my terms all mixed up here. Keep squeezing the block. Now forward fold, Uttanasana. Raise your chest, look up for Ardha Uttanasana. Now bend your knees and bring your hands to either sides of your feet. Squeeze the block again if you've lost that. And take a step back with your left foot, just a little step, maybe 30 centimeters, about a foot. And press the heel a little bit away from you so that that foot's at about 30 degrees. Now bring both of your hands onto the block and raise your chest as you start to straighten your front leg. Now when you do this, squeeze the right buttock in really strongly and even press that right ankle into the block as much as you can. So really push down through the base of the big toe. And as you do this, imagine that you're a tabletop, that glasses of champagne are being put onto your back. So keep raising your chest, move your heart forward as you press the right buttock in and back towards that back heel, your left heel. And keep pushing that left heel down into the floor. Now fold forward again, maybe bend your elbows here as well, and step that left foot forward. Now bring the right foot back, and keep your hands on the block as you do this. Press the left buttock in. Remember that back foot isn't going back far, only about 30 centimeters. Raise your chest away from the floor. Firm your abdominal muscles and press your left buttock in so you even feel your right hip moving forward. Push the back heel down. Good. Now bend the left knee, step the right foot forward. Bring your hands onto your hips, come standing up. Bring your hands down by your side, re-squeeze the block. Now take the block away. Bend your knees, put the block to one side. Keep your feet at hip width apart. Turn your palms out to the sides. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead for Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up, stretch up. Bend your knees, come back to chair pose. Fold forward, bring your hands to either sides of your feet. Raise your chest, look up, Ardha Uttanasana. Keep squeezing the imaginary block. Now walk back into plank. Again, squeeze the imaginary block. For Chaturanga Dandasana, bring your knees down if you need to, otherwise with straight legs, come part way down. Inhale, curl up to Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring your 2 feet together in down dog here. And as you inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Turn the inner right thigh up towards the ceiling so the little toe goes down towards the floor a little bit more. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Imagine your legs are a pair of old scissors that have lost their tightness and you're pressing the blades towards each other so that you can cut the paper. Now bring your knee towards your nose, so you're coming into like a 3-legged plank here. Bring that leg really high. And step your foot in between your hands. Step your back foot forward about a foot, about 30 centimeters. And turn the heel out. Bring your hands onto your hips, come all the way up and straighten both of your legs. Now bring the left ribs forward so you square your chest, raise your heart. Bring your arms up overhead. Draw your navel in, squeeze your bottom here, and then come down as you reach forward and bring your hands just below your knee. Clasp that top shin and pull the skin up as you raise your chest and really push down through the big toe edge of that front foot and push down through the outside edge of your back foot. Squeeze your bottom. Now bend your right knee, take your hands away, come up again with your hands. Bring your hands onto your hips. Bend that knee, touch down, and go back to downward facing dog. So pick up the back heel and walk back. Bring your 2 feet together again. Inhale the left leg behind you. Again, have that image of the scissors as you press your inner thighs towards each other. Then bring your knee towards your nose. Stay here. Abdominal muscles really picking up the weight of that left leg. Then step your foot in between your hands. Bring your back foot a little bit more forward, about a foot. Make sure that you're heel to heel. Bring your hands onto your hips. Push yourself up as you straighten your left leg. Move the right ribs forward and bring your arms up. Bring your navel in, compact your hips. Come forward. Bring your hands just below your left leg. Try not to put any weight down there. In fact, pull the skin up of that shin. You're a tabletop again. Champagne glasses are back on your back. Move your heart forward as you press that left hip in. Tack it down to your back heel and press your back heel down. Now put a little bend in your left knee. Sweep your arms up again. Straighten your leg. Then look down, bend the knee again, touch down and go back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Bring your knees down to the floor. Come all the way down. Curl up into cobra. Now stay here, squeeze your legs towards each other as if the block were in between your shins again. Then go back to downward facing dog. Now from here, walk your hands back again towards your feet. When you get here, bend your knees, bring your hands onto your hips, come all the way up to standing. Get your block again, or your water bottle, whatever it may be, and place it again in between your ankles, kind of mid-setting in the block. Bring your hands onto your hips. Take a step back with your left foot to about 1 meter, kind of as you did before when you were stepping forward. Square your chest, bring the left ribs forward. Bring your arms up again, reach up, stretch up, and really press this right buttock in. And then slowly again, bring both of your hands down. This time you're going to place the heels of your hands onto your block. Raise your chest away from the floor, very light touch with your hands on the block. And bring your right arm out to the side. Tack the right buttock in, press it down towards your back heel and press that back heel down. Then raise your right arm and twist. Bring the left ribs under. As you do this, keep tacking that right buttock in. Press both of your shoulders towards your tailbone. And you can choose to look down, especially if your balance is off, or look to the side, or look up towards your top hand. And then look down, bring your right hand down onto the block, bend your front knee, bring your hands onto your hips, come up, step the back foot forward, and step your left foot back. Try and get the same distance with your feet as you did on the other side. Bring the right ribs forward, both arms up, squeeze your bottom, bring that right hip a little bit more forward, draw your navel in so your abs are really strong as you stretch forward. Bring the heels of your hands down onto your block, then raise your chest away from the floor. Press your left buttock in, keep pressing down through the big toe of that left foot. Bring your arm out to the side. And as you pick your hand up, rotate around your spine coming into the twist. Really press those left ribs in to help the abdominal muscles ignite. Keep pushing down through the big toe edge of your front foot as you press down through the little toe edge of your back foot, particularly the back heel. Look down, bring your hand down onto the block, bend your left knee, bring your hands onto your hips, push up, step that back foot forwards. Good stuff. Okay, now get rid of the block, come back to the top of your mat, separate your feet, bring your hands down by your sides, turn your palms out, raise your heart. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Back into chair pose, bend your knees. Inhale here. Now, stay here as you step your feet together. Bring your hands together. Bring your hands into your heart. Sit a little bit lower. Inhale again. And as you exhale, twist to your right. Bring your left elbow onto the thigh, or maybe a bit to the outside of your right thigh. Spin your fingers to your throat and twist. With your feet together here, you're a little bit better balanced to practice that twisting action. Draw your navel in, use your abdominal muscles, and maybe you can bring that right shoulder a little bit more on top of the left shoulder. Now look down and twist to the other side. So inhale, and as you exhale with nice empty lungs, twist to the left. Again, turn your fingers towards your throat so that your shoulders can go down your back. And then maybe twist a little bit more. Here you're using your right elbow to help you twist, but get your abdominal muscles to do all the hard work. Now look down, bring your hands to either sides of your feet, raise your chest, look up. Perhaps you can straighten your legs that much more. And take a step back with your left foot. Again, we're going to do this action of the feet not too far away from each other, heel to heel. Bring your hands onto your hips, push the right foot down and come all the way up. Let's bring the left ribs forward. Now raise your left arm up and lean forward as you draw your navel in and bring your hand just below your right knee and slightly pull the skin up. Raise your chest away from the floor and really press your right buttock in and press it down towards your back foot. Bring your right arm out to the side, and as you raise your right arm now, twist around your body. Now you can keep your hand here, especially if this is pretty challenging for you, or you can bring your left fingertips down to the floor inside your foot, or bring your hand to the outside of the foot. So you've got something to work with here at whatever your level is. Keep pressing that right buttock in and tacking it towards that back heel and push the back heel down. Now to come out of the pose, if your hand is over on the outside of the heel, bring it inside, bring your right hand down to the floor, bend your right knee, and then everyone bring your hands onto your hips. Push yourself up and step the left foot forward. Feet together, bring your arms up overhead, bend your knees, touch the floor either sides of your feet. Raise your chest, come up halfway, and take a step back with your right foot. Try and replicate the distance as you did on the other side, and again, heel to heel. Bend your front knee, bring your arms up overhead. Bring your left hand onto your left hip. Now move forward with the right hand, draw the navel in, tack the left hip in, bring your hand just below your knee, pull the skin up, keep your hand here, or bring it down inside the heel or to the outside of the heel. All the while, whatever you're doing, keep pushing down through the big toe edge of this front foot. Left hand comes out to the side, press the left buttock in, and then Parvritta Trikonasana, twist. Keep pressing that left buttock in, keep keeping your abdominal muscles toned. 3, 2, 1. Now look down, bring your left hand onto your hip or to the floor as you need to. Bend the right knee, bring both hands onto your hips and come up. Step your front foot forward. Bring your arms ahead of you and come down into a squat. Still balancing, still pressing your knees into the midline. Bring your hands ahead of you, bring your knees down. We're going to do a lying down twist, a couple of counter poses here. Bring your bottom into the middle of the mat, elbows down. Loosen up the ponytail if you need to. Cross your right leg over your left. Shift your bottom way over to the right side of the mat so that when you now bring your legs down to the left, you really feel like you're on the outside of your left hip. Bring the backs of your hands to the floor. And really let your knees drop over to the left, weighing the right shoulder down all the while as much as you can. If you want to, if it feels comfortable, you can bend that right elbow more and slide the right hand up around beside your head, as long as your right arm and your right hand stay on the floor. And then relax your legs here. You really have to consciously tell your legs to relax, because you've been training them up until now to squeeze strong. Perhaps turn your head a little bit towards your right arm if that feels okay for your neck. So you're lengthening that right hip. Just a couple more breaths here. It's worth staying here a little while. You're also releasing any stress, any pockets of tightness that you brought into your body here. So it's not just the legs, it's also the back, the abdominal area, your shoulders, your arms. Now to come to the other side, push your feet down, bring your legs up, uncross the legs, shift them back to center, put the left leg over, bring your bottom over to the left, and then both knees down to the right. Tuck your feet up as you need, as you like. Bring that left arm again around the side of your head, as long as the elbow and the back of the hand are resting on the floor. Turn the head to the left if you want, and release your legs Try and release everything, soften down towards the floor. Now push your feet down so that you can come out of the twist and bring the soles of your feet together here. So shift your bottom back to center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet touching, but not forcing into each other, just making contact, and then let your legs again really relax, the inner thighs lengthening. If it's comfortable for you, you can press your elbows down, bring your shoulders a little closer to each other under your back, and then move your bottom and your tailbone a little closer to your heels, just to get a bit more length in the lower back. It'll still be curving up away from the floor, but with that little bit more length there, you might find some release. Bring your knees together now and lengthen your left leg long to the left corner of your mat, then your right leg, so that you're coming into Shavasana. And do bring your whole body into Shavasana. So slightly bend your elbows, make sure that the backs of your hands are on the floor and your fingers are loosely curled. Align your body so that it feels like you're in a straight line from the back of your head, in between your shoulder blades, down to your tailbone, and that your legs and your arms are an equal distance away from the midline of your body. Close your eyes. Stay here in silence. A short Shavasana, about another minute. Really practice the art of relaxation here. Let yourself rest. Coming out of Shavasana, bend your knees one leg at a time, bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Roll onto your right side. Press your left hand down, push yourself straight up into a seated position, cross your legs. Come into as comfortable a seat as you can, and bring your hands straight into your heart. Sit tall, sit with confidence, but also sit with ease. Relax your shoulders and bring your throat back. Lower your chin so it touches your fingertips. Release your hands and bring your palms down onto your legs. Raise your chin, open your eyes. Namaste. Well done, and thank you for practicing with me. Parvritta Trikonasana is not the easiest pose, but it's a really good one to master, so keep coming back to this tutorial. Also really good for core strengthening and pressing in, and obviously balance work as well. Please do subscribe, so click on that little button below. You can also ring the bell so that when I put up new classes you're alerted. And if you want a bit more support from me, do have a look at the Patreon link below. I give all sorts of benefits for people who support me, only from $3 a month. So go for it and get some extra benefits from me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.